very tight, I can recreate the bike. Your old black bone shaker, its basket hung up front, the paint long dulled and lustreless, the pedals hanging rust-encrusted, a wire-back carrier tied with twine. If I concentrate even harder, I can see you mounted, shedding years as you push the pedals, wind streaming past your ears, your hair loosed, your skirt a banner unfurled. When you were firmly earthbound again and not watching, I used to sneak a ride, wanting to transform myself, to push against the wind and through it, ringing the bell loudly all the while. A lot of the poems I write deal with the famine. For some reason I'm very interested in the famine and the idea of famine and the idea of how people survive, and we were alive now, what did our ancestors do to survive, and who did they turn from their door, etc. You know, it's not just happenstance that we're here, it's sort of survival of the fittest, but what the fittest do to survive. So this poem, although I'm talking about famine, this poem was actually about a census that was taken in 1837 rather than 47, which was the years of the famine. But this census was taken in an area of Donegal that had 9,000 inhabitants. And in the census that they found, these 9,000 inhabitants, between them possessed a total of 10 beds. So you can imagine the poverty that was already there. Stones like steps on the road, heavy, hard and hungry. The hedges stripped of haws and berries. Fields once full of yellow dandelions hung ears of corn and swaying wheat. All bare like my children, standing in their shifts, their petticoats bartered for cornbread. Before us the road goes nowhere. Behind the cottage is tumbled, bedding itself down into the hard acres. I have no furniture to speak of, just one copper pot given on marriage by my mother, tied now with twine about my waist, echoing like a bell in empty space. Now we come more up to date now. These are from my next collection, which I'm still working on, called Dangerous Dresses, not Dangerous Stresses. For some reason Sean thinks it is, which I thought was hilarious. I haven't actually thought of that. Dangerous Dresses, not Stresses. He could be right, maybe he'd undergo a name change yet. This is another nun bashing poem. I was bashing nuns long before it became fashionable. This one is about sewing lessons, and all the girls in convent schools used to have to every year sew these dreadful things like night dresses or whatever, and at the beginning of the term they'd hand you out this lovely crisp white lawn, and by the end of the term I can tell you it was this completely unwearable load of nonsense, and I absolutely hated them. So sewing lessons. We sat in serried rows, stitching white lawn night dresses. Mine would never be worn, as I diligently sewed it yet again to my uniform. My pricked fingers bloom like poppies when the earth is turned. The stern nun paces the rows, her rosary rattling our chair as she passes. Wind from her habit lifting the light cloth, a sail as she strides by, eagle-eyed for girls like myself, whose minds are gone in running stitches outside, as we try yet again for the perfect hem, not sewn to uniform our fingers. I never want to see bloodied white lawn again. This poem is about my daughter who's 6. When I mentioned in my Black Sheets poem about my son sharing my bed, you know, in case Sean was startled because my son is 16, he stopped doing that now. This poem is just, as I say, it's about my daughter. It doesn't need an explanation, but it was sort of on the idea of O sounds in your mouth, and it's called Dandelions. I am watching the clock of a seed-headed dandelion that ran out of yellow, form like a miniature pomander. I see my daughter lean to it, her curtain of hair streaked yellow in the sun, Her cheeks redden as she blows a perfect O, and the clock flies, parachuting seeds across the lawn as she runs, trying to gather them again to recreate the downy spear. The blades of grass snare the dandelion seeds for next year's growth. Their tufty heads will hold her breath. I've just 3 more to do, if you'll bear with me. This one again is a different sort of sewing one, but it is called Stitched. And again, it sort of explains itself. I don't know if it needs any more explanation. My mother had very bad varicose veins. This is me giving this explanation. I keep doing this, don't I? She had very bad varicose veins, and she went off to get them treated. And, you know, when she came home, they were very impressive the whole way down her leg. And she wouldn't let anyone take them out. She insisted on taking them out herself with the nail scissors, which ended up going hysterical. So it's just, as a child, I was kind of fascinated by this. Stitched. Your scissors flew, ripping all in their path. Inches and inches of stitches, tied off like butterflies, the ends going nowhere. Each one neatly ravelled as you pulled and sliced at it. The tapestry pattern that travelled your leg from ankle to groin was impressive to my young eye. The doctor was shocked as he tried to stop you, but you were vehement. They had done your veins, cut and sniffed them, turned them inside out, a tailor's dolly. You said you wanted to reclaim the seams that carried the blood back to the heart. This next one I'm definitely giving no explanation. It's called Domestic. My house is full of knives. Sharp blades wait to ambush me in drawers. I get sleepy from their cuts. My onion finger peels back layers, reveals the blood and guts of me. Sometimes the trap is on the stairs. A lost left shoe discarded there hides like a snare to trip me up. There's danger in domestic things, such as you would never dream. Light falling at an awkward angle can splinter air like discordant voices. My head becomes the tumble dryer cycle, round and round it goes.